Good morning. Good evening. Good afternoon. Beautiful people. On this beautiful, beautiful planet, you get to go home for such a tiny amount of time. You've got to be relentless. You've got to be relentless in your seeking. Because if you take your foot off the gas and you become complacent, you become okay with letting the mind, letting the thoughts, letting the conditioning, letting the program run away with itself, then you're gonna suffer. Because you can only ever suffer because of the thoughts in your head. If there's no thought, there is no suffering. There is no fear. There is no worry. There is no anxiety. So you've got to be relentless in your seeking of the ego. Seek out the ego. Seek out the thoughts. Seek out the conditioning. And the more you seek it out, the more you become aware of it, the more you can stop identifying with it. Because the more you identify with thought, the more you identify with ego, the conditioned mind, the program, the more you're sucked into this world. I've just been in Horwich. And this can only happen because of somebody's conditioned mind. Once you become aware of that in yourself, then it just becomes, people shine like a fucking light. People, you see it in everybody. And Horwich for me, Horwich is a cesspit for conditioning. If you ever want to see conditioned people, if you ever want to see programmed people, if you ever want to see people that are so stuck in the thoughts, so stuck in the mind, so stuck in the ego, go and spend 5 minutes in Horwich. Because it is full of them everywhere. Once you become aware of it in yourself, once you become aware that you're not the thoughts, you're not the ego, you're not the conditioned mind, then it pops out everywhere. But Horwich is a pit for that. I've just been in Horwich now, and the majority of people walking around Horwich are giving each other dirty looks. It's very rare that you come into contact with somebody that will smile. That can only be coming from the ego. Ego and love cannot coexist. You try and live in happiness and joy and love, and try and live in fear, worry, anxiety at the same time. You try and live in awareness, emptiness of thought, and try and live connected to the ego, connected to thought at the same time. Love and fear cannot coexist. Fear is the ego. Fear is the conditioned mind. Fear is the program. Fear, worry, anxiety, depression cannot coexist in the same place as love, happiness, and joy. There's no place for them both. When you sit in the emptiness of thought, when you don't pick up any offerings the mind has to offer, when you become aware that every thought that you are having is regurgitated shit, that it's all conditioning, that every thought that you are having, and it's probably the same thoughts that you're having continuously throughout the day, are thoughts about the past. It's all nonsense. You live in a delusion. You're delusional. Because you're listening to something that is talking to itself. Then there's nobody there to connect with the thought. It's just that you know no different and you identify with thought. That thought comes up, and because you've not been shown any other way, you instantly fucking identify with the thought. And that thought becomes you. That belief becomes you. The conditioned mind becomes you. But the conditioned mind is other people's stories. The conditioned mind is what mummy told you, what daddy told you, what your school has told you, what your university has told you, what governments have told you, what your doctors have told you. It's all just conditioning. It's all programming that you believe is you. It's very rare that a human being has their own original thought. Because it's all passed down bullshit. You've got to be relentless in not identifying with any thought that comes into the mind. And that doesn't mean I'm the most positive, most happy, most joyful person that I know. And I'm not saying, well, I am saying that. I'm not saying that out from the ego. I'm saying that with confidence. I know that I'm the happiest, most joyful, most loving person that I know. Without fucking doubt. Because I don't listen to the story playing out in the mind. I don't listen to the ego because it's bullshit. I don't listen to conditioning. I'm not attached to anybody. You can only live in this state so that doesn't mean that when you're having thoughts, you've got to become aware of what is the ego and what isn't. So the ego is the chatter that goes on in the background. The ego is, the default mode for the ego is negativity. The default mode for the conditioned mind is negativity, for the program. So anything that's negative, disidentify with it. Don't identify with it. Because that's the program. That's the mind virus. That mind virus is going to continue. Eventually it will dissolve into nothing and there'll be no thoughts. But why, if you're going through a process of dissolving the ego, then the more you the more you don't identify with it, the more you'll come to realise that them thoughts are talking to the self. There's nobody in there to listen to the thought. It's just a program playing out. And thoughts will continue to happen. Don't identify with them. But it's important, it's really important that when you don't identify with the thought, you inject positivity into that. With your mindset. That isn't coming from the ego, that isn't coming from thought. That's coming from with an intention that every fucking moment is love. Every moment is joy. Say it out loud. Every moment is happiness. That part of the mind that you're using, the right-hand side of your brain, not the left-hand side. The left-hand side is the ego. The left-hand side is the bullshit. The left-hand side is the program. The right-hand side brain that connects instantly to the heart is where the awareness is. There's no judgment there. There's oneness. There's love. There's happiness. Because you're coming into the heart. Who doesn't want to live in that? Who wants to live in fear? And you can only be living in fear because of the ego. Because of the story playing out in the mind. We are all here to be love. It's just this that has got in the way. It's this that stops beings from fully opening the heart. So I've just been into Horwich, and it's really important that we confront it. You can never fully dissolve the ego unless you're confronted with situations that are going to help you to be aware of what's happening in you and in other people. It becomes irrelevant what anyone else is doing. People can only affect you if you come up into the story, if you come up into the mind. If you're pure awareness that is loving in every moment, people can behave exactly as they want to behave. I don't go here. I know that person, that other entity, is suffering. You can only be suffering because of the thoughts in your head. And if you're giving people dirty looks and being mean, then you're suffering. You might think you're not. You might think that, and there lies the problem, because you're thinking. You might think that you're doing X, Y, and Z, and you're fucking brilliant because you give somebody a dirty look or whatever, but you're suffering. Because you're living from the fucking mind virus. Because you're living from the ego, the conditioned mind. And you can only ever suffer because of the thoughts in your head. You're unaware of even what you're doing. So it becomes irrelevant to me if you're giving me dirty looks or you're being mean. Because I don't go here. I stay in the heart. I stay in awareness. I stay connected to who I am, who we all are. And I don't come up into the trap. In the emptiness of thought is who everybody is. You can only ever suffer because of the thoughts in your head. You can only ever judge. You can only ever live in fear, worry, anxiety, depression because of the thoughts in your head. So if you're giving people dirty looks, judging, that's coming from the virus, isn't it? That's coming from your mind. So you're suffering. What compassion there. My heart's open to people like that. Not that they won't ever see it in this lifetime. That's okay. Doesn't mean that I come up into the program. It doesn't mean that I come up into the conditioned mind. I remain in the heart. Empty of thought. Empty of suffering. The more negative entities come into your path, the more negative situations come into your path, the more it's an opportunity not to identify. The more it's an opportunity to break free a little bit more. So the more negative people that come into my life, fucking fantastic. Because it's an opportunity for me to grow. It's an opportunity for me not to identify with the program. It's an opportunity for me not to identify with the conditioned mind. It's an opportunity for me to polarize into love and not to polarize into the dark. So the more negativity that comes into my life, the more joy I become, the more loving I become, the more happy I become. Because the more I disengage with the conditioned mind. I don't identify with it. And that brings more joy. That brings more happiness. That brings more love. People are unaware of that though. One, they're unaware that they're stuck in a fucking mind virus. And that they've connected left and right brain. They've connected ego and their awareness. They've identified it as the same thing. Unaware that they're doing it. That thought comes into the head. They've instantly identified with the thought. That thought is talking to itself. There is nobody in there to fucking listen to it. It's just that you're having a conversation between the thought, your conditioned mind, things that have happened in the past, and self-awareness. You're in a conflab, in a conversation with something that isn't fucking real. People are unaware that is happening. They're unaware that them thoughts are talking to the self. They've just identified with it, believing that that's who they are. So somebody gives you a dirty look, a thought has come in about whatever situation has come into their mind. They've instantly identified with the thought, and they've instantly judged and give a dirty look. It all happens so quickly. It's instant. Thought comes in, identification, action. This is a long process of dissolving that thought. Thought comes in, no identification. I'm aware that thought is conditioning. I'm aware that thought is fear. I'm aware that thought is a program, is a mind virus. My mind has been poisoned. I'm fully aware that is happening. No identification. Just pure awareness. Awareness hasn't identified with the ego. Peace. Openness. Pure awareness that is loving. An expansion. It all happens in that instant, no identification with thought. But it's so quick. And what happens is people go on a path, go on a journey, and they're not relentless enough. The thought will come up. Sometimes they'll not identify. Sometimes they'll identify. You've got to be relentless in catching that thought. No identification. No identification. With thought, image, anything that you perceive, no identification. And eventually, the conditioned mind, the ego, the story dissolves away. And I'm telling you, in that space, 1, your suffering ends. 2, there's an expansion of joy, happiness, love. And 3, there's just pure awareness. You're just a witnesser. You're just the awareness of life. Life is unfolding exactly as it's supposed to unfold without you doing fuck all about it. So then it becomes irrelevant what everyone else is doing. You could give me a dirty look. It becomes irrelevant to me because I'm not here. You can only affect me if I go into a story. Somebody could give me a dirty look. Somebody could give you a dirty look. And instantly you have a thought of, why is that person? You instantly identify with the thought. So you're sucked into the ego. You're sucked into the conditioning. That thought comes up. Why have they given me a dirty look? No identification. Empty. Becomes irrelevant. And eventually the thought of, why have they given me a dirty look, doesn't even come up. There is nothing there. People give you a dirty look. That's okay. They can do what the fuck they want. Because I don't come here. I don't come up into the program. I don't come up into the fucking mind virus. I've not been overtaken by the program. There's no connection. There's no attachment to the mind. There's no attachment to the body. There's no attachment to anyone or anything. How can you be attached to something or somebody when this lifetime's over? It's over. You could get stuck in the trap and regurgitate, not just regurgitate shit in your own life, but regurgitate back onto this planet. Or you can be out of here as pure awareness. So you get a choice. You can choose to live your life in fear, to listen to the program in the mind, or you can choose to detach from it in every moment and live in joy, live in love. You get a choice in every moment, but that moment is it's a split second of choice. Am I going down the path of ego? Am I going down the path of conditioning? Am I going down the path of programming? Or am I going down the path of pure awareness? Am I going down the path of love? Boom. Instant thought comes up. Are you going to identify or not identify? Thought comes up. Are you going to identify and get sucked into the ego, into fear, worry, anxiety, all that shit? Or you're not going to identify and sit in awareness and sit in love and joy and happiness? You get a choice in every moment. You can judge. You can live in fear. You can live in all the bullshit that unfortunately, that the program has to offer, that the ego has to offer, that your conditioning has to offer. And don't forget, everyone's conditioning is different. Depends what has happened in their lifetime. Depends how much samskaras they have collected in their lifetime. I could stand and wave at 10 different people. Every one of them entities is going to have a different reaction to me standing, smiling and waving. Some might give me the V's. Some might give me a dirty look. Some might get out of the car and say something to me. That's how extreme the mind virus can be. Some might wave back. Some might be hesitant and give me a smile. One person might give me a smile and a wave. Very, very rare. There it becomes apparent. Go and try it for yourself. Go and stand in the road, on the pavement, and stand and wave. And watch how every entity has a different reaction. Every entity is having a different reaction because of their own conditioned mind. Because of the program playing out in their mind in that moment. If they didn't identify with the program, if they didn't identify with the conditioned mind, if they were in pure awareness, love and joy, there could only be exactly the same response back. Smile and wave. It's only the program, it's only the conditioned mind that will stop beings from truly living who they are. And that is unfortunately how this planet is. This planet is so dense, so negative. People are living in fear, in worry. Why? Because of this. And this isn't real. And that's why people suffer. Because they're listening to something that is talking to itself. It's just that they've not been shown any different. There should be Muji in schools. There should be Buddhist in schools. There should be Ramana Maharshi in schools. There should be Papaji in schools. There should be people that have disidentified with mind teaching people. But unfortunately, because of the way the planet is and government and stuff like that, they want to condition people. They want to program people to be good little citizens. They don't want people to come into this space of pure awareness, become into this space of knowing that everything they've been told is bullshit. It's just conditioning. It's just what they've been told. They don't want people to become... If I could homeschool my little boy, I would pull him, I would go and get him from the school now. If God forbid anything happened to my ex-partner, I would go and get my little boy from school and I'd pull him out of school. And I'd find a way to homeschool him. Because it is bullshit. What child should be in school from the age... Some of them go to fucking schools and preschool and from fucking 2 or 1. What child should be in school, let's take my little boy's age, 6, from fucking 9 o'clock in the morning to fucking 3:30, Monday to Friday? What a load of bollocks. How many of them things that they're learning in the school do they enjoy? Maybe 1, maybe 2 things? What are they doing for and well, that could be 1 or 2 hours a week. What are they doing for the rest of the fucking time? It's bollocks. They're conditioning them. They're programming them to be good little citizens. If I could pull my little boy out of school, I would go and do it now. Without a shadow of a doubt. There'd be no question in my mind. I'd go and get... And that doesn't mean that he'd still play for his football team, where he's around his friends who go to his school. He'd still go to boxing, where he's around his friends. He'd still go swimming, where he's around his friends. He'd still go to parties, where he's around his friends. It's just that he wouldn't be programmed. I would do it in the blink of an eye. But unfortunately, because my ex-partner is so programmed, she doesn't see it. She doesn't see that fucking school, that it's a way to condition and program children. Even when it gets to secondary school, if God forbid, obviously I don't want anything to happen to my ex-partner, but if anything can happen in the next 10 years, can't it? If anything was to happen, then I'd instantly go and take him out. Because I know it's not good. My intuition tells me it's not good. And I'd find a way to teach him this stuff. Okay, much more of a joyful, happy, loving life that entity, not my son, but it is my son, but that entity is going to have. Because he's not going to be around fucking more conditioned people, programmed people. See it at school. I don't get involved. I pick my little boy. I get involved at football. I get involved at boxing. Where there's people from his school there, his parents. I get involved there. It's beautiful. I don't get involved in the school bit because I know it's bollocks. I pick him up and fucking people are giving each other dirty looks and the kids. Fuck that. I'm not attached to that shit. I'm not there. I go and pick him up and I'm out of there. It's all fucking shit. And that's what I don't want him to be around. To see that bullshit. To see people giving each other dirty looks. Parents giving each other dirty looks. It's fucking... They're all... Schools are awful environments. Even the teachers do it. Teachers giving kids dirty looks. Teachers giving parents dirty... It's fucking... They're a cesspit for negativity. A cesspit for fucking conditioning and programming. They're awful places. And why would anybody want the child to be in that situation? Fucking, it's beyond my belief. I'm not, yeah. Why would you want your child to be in a school where there's 30 plus people in Harry's class? And that's going to be the same for the rest of his schooling years. And there's 2 teachers, sometimes 1. How the fuck are they teaching 30 plus children with 1 teacher? And how are they getting the maximum benefit from what they're getting? They're not. Like I say, your child might enjoy 1 or 2 things. Homeschool them, teaching them 1 or 2 things, and then the rest of the time go and explore nature. Go and play football. Go and do the things that they're passionate about. So they're not so far into the trap of believing this, the whole of the life. Some people live the whole of their lifetimes connected to the story in the mind, connected to what the teachers told them 80 years ago, what the parents told them 80 years ago, what the university told them 80 years ago, what the doctors told them 80 years ago. It's all bollocks. It's all just conditioning, programming. Some people live whole lifetimes connected to the mind, connected to the story that is talking to fucking nobody. You just identified with it. So you've identified with the conditioning, the programming, the whole of your life. Sad. It really, really is sad. When all the time there's been pure awareness waiting. Please let go of the mind. Please let go of the conditioning, the ego. It's been there. But it's just that you've been veiled by the mind virus. Fucking sad. Sad, sad, sad. What the world has done to itself. Hope everyone has a fantastic day. Namaste.